Good morning, students. The previous video was interrupted for some time, so we will proceed from here. Lesson number two, supplementary, bringing up curry. Then I would take him by the ear because that is the easiest way to lead an elephant. When one catch the ear of elephant, he will easily control because his part of the ear is very weak, very tender, very soft. Okay, I went into the forest to get some luscious twigs for his dinner. Luscious means sweet in taste. Luscious twigs, sweet in taste. Okay, one has to have a very sharp hatchet to cut down these twigs. The keeper of a elephant always has a hatchet. Hatchet it means कुल्हाड़ी जो पेड़ की डालियों को काटने में काम आता है. One has to have कीपर को रखना पड़ता है एक तेज धार वाला टू कट डाउन दीज ट्विग्स. ट्विग्स मतलब छोटी छोटी जो शाखाएं होती है. टेक्स हाफ एन आवर टू शार्पन द हैचेट. It takes some time to sharpen the hatchet. Sharpen it means when it becomes so sharp to cut the twigs, because if a twig is multi-layered, this work is very necessary. Because if any twig is multilated, it means not in a proper way, not in a neat and clean way, an elephant will not touch it. So, will not elephant will not eat it. Will not touch it. It means will not eat it. It was not an easy job to get twigs and sapling. It means uh, for the curry, the bringing up work or give the nutrition for elephant is not a easy work. I had to climb all kinds of the most delicate and tender twigs. Delicate, it is a synonym word for tender. Tender, delicate, all words are used for soft. As he was very fond of the young branches. Young branches, it means new branches. New branches of the banyan tree. It means elephant is fond of new and soft branches of banyan tree, which grows like a cathedral of leaves. And the new branches we find on the top of the tree. Cathedral, it means top of the of leaves and branches. I was gathering some one spring day in March. Here is the incident in the month of March, spring day, Vasant Ritu, as of when I suddenly heard Curry calling to me in the distance. Curry was calling to the keeper far from distance. As he was still very young, he was very little. The call was more like that of a baby than an elephant. In the younger age, elephant was similar child. I thought somebody was hurting, so in the keeper's mind came that my elephant is facing some problem, but but I came down from my tree and ran very fast to the edge of the forest where I had left him, but he was not there. What is the scene? He was not there. The writer left the elephant where, but when he reached there, there was no elephant. I looked all over. I looked everywhere, but I could not find it. लेकिन वो वहां पर नहीं मिलता है. I went near the edge of the water. Then I went near the edge of the river water. I saw a black something struggling, black in color on the surface of the water. It is struggling with anything. Then it rose higher. Then it rose higher. It means when the uh, elephant comes out of the water, it was the trunk of my elephant. I recognized my elephant. I thought he was drawn. At once, the idea came to my mind that my elephant was drowning. Drowning मतलब डूब रहा है. ऐसा दिमाग में आया. I was helpless because I could not jump into the water. I was helpless because I am so little and I have not so much power that I could uh, I could lift the elephant 400 pounds. See the weight 400 pounds of him since he was much higher than I and was higher than the rider. But I saw his back rise above the water and the moment he caught my eye. When the elephant saw to me this was a satisfactory moment, caught my eye, he began to trumpet. And when the elephant saw to me, he started trumpet. Trumpet it means sore machana. And he struggled up to the sword. And he was trying to get sword. Means किनारा किनारे पर प्रयास करने लगा. Then still trumpeting. Then still trumpeting. अभी भी वो शोर मचा रहा है. He pushed me into the water and I fell into the stream. Elephant pushed me into the river water. I saw a boy lying flat on the bottom of the river. There was a boy. He was lying flat on the river. He had not altogether touched bottom. He was not totally flat in the water of the river, but somewhat afloat, not in a standing position. I came to the surface of the water to take my breath, and there Curry was standing. When I came to the surface of the water, there, there was my elephant was standing for my help. His feet planted in the sand banks, and it means wraith. My elephant's nature was very helpful, so he stands himself beside me on the bank of the river, and his trunk is stretched out like a hand waiting for me. He stretched his trunk for my help. I dived down again. I dived down again and pulled the body of the drowning boy to the surface. I was tried to catch the body of the drowning boy to the surface, okay, to pick up for a safe position. Not being a good swimmer, I was not a good swimmer. I could not swim ashore. To with the drowning boy, I could not swim, and the slow current was already dragging me down, and the water current, water की पानी की जो धारा थी of the river, he was trying to pull down me. This was the scene. Okay. Seeing us drift by the current and total incident was seen by the elephant, and Curry was usually slow, ponderous, suddenly loud. Okay, as you know, the elephant was something slow, but slow and ponderous. Ponderous means heavy in weight. Suddenly, when he saw me, that I was on the current, water current. I was going to town. Then he darted down like he was started. He was started. Darted it means move very quickly. Darted down it move very quickly like a hawk. Like a hawk. This is a very fast moving bird. Hawk. इसको हम कहते हैं बाज. And came halfway into the water. And he came down in the water for my help. When I saw him stretch out his trunk, again he stretched his trunk for our help. I raised up my hand to catch it, and it slipped. When I when I stretched my hand to catch the trunk of elephant, it was. I found myself going under the water, and after that I was drowning. Okay, I was drowning, but this time I found that the water was not very deep, and this is the situation where there not so much deep water. So I sank to the bottom. I was still on the bottom of the river, and there was no trouble. And doubled my feet. Doubled my feet. I I could I could establish my feet under the water, and then suddenly kicked the river. Kicked the river. It means pulled my weight on the surface of the river ground, and then so shot upward like an arrow, and I was up the surface in spite of the fact that I was holding the drowning boy. And this is the situation that in this time I was holding the drowning boy, and I came out of the water. My body rose above the water. I felt a lasso around my neck. And in this time, the elephant helped me by lasso around my neck. Lasso, it means grip, catch my neck by his trunk. And this frightened me. At the first moment, uh, this catching of the trunk of the elephant was frightened me, but I thought some water animal was going to swallow me, and I was so frightened that I thought that some water animal was gripping me, and after that he will kill me. I heard courage, but the voice of the elephant was coming in my ear, spilling me, crying, and I knew it was his trunk. I felt that trunk was mine. The, this trunk was my okay. About my neck. He pulled us. He, he pulled us over the kinare. Curry becomes fond of ripe bananas. He believes in self-help, much to the discomfort of his friend. With quiet dignity, Curry accepts the chiding he deserves. Curry was like a baby. Curry, the age of the Curry was not so much, so Curry was like a baby. He had to be trained. उसको trained करना पड़ा. He had to be trained to be वो अच्छा बनने के लिए ट्रेनिंग देनी पड़ी. And if you did not tell him, if you fail to instruct him, if you fail to train him when he was naughty, he was up more mischief than ever. He becomes more naughty again. So it is your duty to teach him, to train him what a kind of good citizen is. So like a good citizen, you have to train your pet animal like elephant. For instance, for example, okay, one day somebody gave him some bananas to eat. Somebody gave him some bananas. Very soon, he developed a great love for ripe bananas. He was fond of ripe bananas. We used to keep large plates. We used to keep large plates of fruit on a table near a window in the dining room. We always kept. Used to keep. It means we always kept large plates of fruit on a table near a window in the dining room. One day, all the bananas on that table disappeared. Disappeared. गायब हो जाना. And my family blamed. And my family told me that I and servants ate up all the bananas for eating all the fruits. A few days the fruit disappeared again. यानी बार बार ये घटना हो रही कि बार बार वहां पर बनाना रखे जाते हैं टेबल पर वो गायब हो जाते हैं. This time the blame was put on me, and I knew I had not done it. I was sure that I had not ate up all the bananas. It made me very angry. So this is the reason I not I did not eat the bananas, and the parents blamed me. I was angry with my parents and the servants. I thought that servants could be could be missing, for I was sure they had taken all. I was sure मुझे पूरा भरोसा था कि इन नौकरों ने फ्रूट्स को खा लिया. The next time the fruit disappeared. Next time again the fruit disappeared. I found banana all smashed up in Gary's pavilion. I found a banana. I found a banana all smashed मतलब पूरी तरह से कुचला हुआ smashed up in Gary's pavilion. This surprised me very much. This incident was surprised me very much that an elephant ate banana, for I had never seen fruit there. And as you know, he had always lived on trees. And you know, elephant lived on the twigs, trees twigs, not on the banana. You know, earlier in the lesson. Okay? Next day, while I was sitting in the dining room, wondering, next day, while I was sitting in the dining room, wondering whether I should take some fruit from the table without my parents' permission. The writer thought that if I can take some fruits from the table without my parents' permission, this is the time a long black thing, very much like a snake, suddenly came through the window and disappeared. This is the time a long black thing, very much like a snake, just like a snake, suddenly, suddenly came through the window, suddenly came through the window and disappeared and taken all the bananas. It was very much frightening. This scene was very frightening because the writer thought that it was a snake, because I had never seen snakes eat. The writer earlier already knows that a snake cannot eat banana, and I thought it must be a terrible snake. This is the reason that writer thought that this would be a terrible snake that would sneak. It means चंपत हो जाना, छिप जाना, sneak in हो सकता है छिपा हुआ हो. terrible snake that would sneak in and take fruit. राइटर को लगता है ये जो स्नेक है कहीं छिपा हुआ है और वहां से फ्रूट्स को ले लेता है. I crept out of the room. This terrible moment was very difficult for writer. He crept out. He went out of the room and with great fear in my heart ran out of the house. The writer was out of the room and out of the house, feeling sure that the snake would come back into the house. The writer thought that once again there would be a snake and he will eat all the fruit and kill all of us. The writer thought that again the snake can come in the house, in the room, and he will kill me and all the family. This is the reason the writer went out the room and went out of the house. As I went out, when I went out, I saw Curry's back disappearing in the direction of the pavilion. When I went out of the house, the writer saw that Curry was not there in the pavilion, not in the pavilion. Pavilion it means where the elephant lives. Okay, this is an important word. Pavilion it means where the elephants live. Direction of the pavilion. The elephant was there, but he is not appearing. He was not seen by the writer, and I was so frightened that I wanted his company to cheer me because this is the tough time for the writer. He was scared uh, from the imaginary snake. So the writer wanted to cheer up with his pet elephant. But there was no elephant. He saw. I ran after him. I ran after him. It means he was searching him. He was searching him into the pavilion. And he found him there eating. There eating. He found that Curry, the elephant, was eating the banana. And he stood still in astonishment. Astonishment matlab very, very wonderful. Very well wondered. Wondered it means आश्चर्य में पड़ जाना. He was astonishment. I stood still in astonishment. The writer was still in astonishment because he he was not he was not believing such an incident that elephant eat bananas. The bananas were lying strewn. Lying strewn it means scattered. Bananas were lying strewn. Lying strewn means scattered all around him. He scattered all the bananas around him. He stretched out his tongue. He stretched out his tongue and reached for one far away from where he was standing. To see, after seeing me, the curry was stretched away from where there he was standing. That instance, that instant, the tongue looked like a black snake. And the finally the uh, secret was open because this was the elephant's trunk that disturbed me. Okay? And I realized that Curry was the thief. This is the moment that I realized that the elephant was the thief. जो चोरी करने वाला वो यही है. I went to him, pulled him out by the ear. I went to him. I suggested him that you should not steal the fruits. Pull him out by the ear and joyously showed my parent that it was Curry and not I that had eaten all the food these many weeks. So the thief was under control, and the writer showed the real action of elephant's mischief to his parents. Then I scolded him. Then I rebuked him. Then I suggested him. Okay? Scold का मतलब था डांटना. For elephants understand words as well as children. And I said, अब राइटर ये बता रहा है कि हमने उसको डांटा तो क्यों डांटा? Because All the elephants understand words as well. बच्चों की तरह से बातों को समझते हैं. And I said to him, next time I see you stealing fruit, you will be wiped. If you stolen any fruit, next time I will be punished you. You will be wiped. It means I will punish you. He knew that we were all angry. Sorry, students. Next time I see you stealing fruit, you will be wiped. He knew that we were all angry with him. Even the servants, he knew. After the suggestion, after the scolding, he knew that we were all angry with him. Even the servants, his pride was so injured. His respect was injured. His respect was down because he get scolding. Injured that he never stole another thing from the dining room. After this incident, the curry never stolen anything from the dining room, and from then, and even if anybody tried to give him any fruit, he always thanked them and not taken anything. An elephant is willing to be punished for having done wrong. This is a habit of elephant. If elephant done wrong thing, he wants some punishment. But if you punish him without any reason, if you punish, if he had not done any wrong thing, and if you punished him, so he will return all the punishment with very bad way. You can say, okay, he will remember it and pay you back in your. आपके ही तरीके से अगर आपने उसको बिना किसी कारण के आपने पनिश किया तो वो आपके ही तरीके से आपको उसका रिटर्न करेगा मतलब बदला लेगा. Okay. An elephant must be taught. An elephant must be taught when it sits down. The writer says that an elephant must be taught when to sit down, when to walk, when to go fast, and when to go slow. When you teach him these things as you teach a child, if you say that, what is the meaning of that? And pull him by the ear, he will gradually learn to sit down. That it means sit down. Similarly, Mali to go forward. Okay, Curry learned Mali after 3 lessons. Okay, but it took him 3 weeks to learn that. Okay, it was very difficult to learn the sit down. He was no good at sitting down. And do you know why an elephant should be taught to sit down? Why this lesson should be taught? That because he grows taller and taller, then you who take care of him or the would take care if you taught him to sit down in a proper way. This would be useful to you so that when he is 2 or 3 years old, you can only reach the back with a ladder. Because if he is not trained in sit down, how can you get on his back? Because he will grow taller and taller. Okay, and every time you had to take some ladder to ride on his back. It is therefore better to teach him to sit down by saying thus so that you can climb upon his back. Or who would want to carry a ladder around all the time? Okay, बार बार कौन सीढ़ी लाएगा? अगर आप बैठना नहीं सिखाएंगे तो उसके पेट पर सवार होना मुश्किल होगा. The most difficult thing to teach an elephant is the master call. In this paragraph, you can learn about the master card. Generally takes 5 years to learn it properly. Okay, this is a very long lesson, 5 years lesson. Master call. The master call is strange hissing. Strange hissing. Strange voice you can create, and after the listening, he reacts in a special way. Calling sound as if a snake, as if a snake is and a tiger were fighting, fighting each other. ठीक? स्नेक और टाइगर जब आपस में लड़ाई करते हैं तो उनके बीच में जो आवाज आती है hissing की, इस तरह की साउंड को क्रिएट करके एलिफेंट को सिखाया जाता है एंड यू हैव टू मेक दैट काइंड ऑफ नॉइज इस तरह की आवाज आपको उसके कान में डालनी पड़ेगी एंड do you know what you expect an elephant to do when you give him the master call? What is the result of the master call? What is the need of the master call? This is described in the further line. If you are lost in the jungle and there is no way and everything is black except the stars above, you dare not stay very long anywhere. आप कहीं जंगल में चले गए हैं और वहां पर आपको रास्ता नहीं मिल रहा है, रात का समय है, केवल सितारे दिखाई दे रहे हैं, तो आप क्या करेंगे? At this kind of moment, master call is needed. The only thing is the only thing to do then is to give the master call. Once the elephant pulls down the tree in front of him with his trunk. जब आप मास्टर कॉल देते हैं तो एलिफेंट अपने सामने के सारे पेड़ पौधों को तोड़ना शुरू करता है. This frightens all the animals away. इससे सभी जंगली जानवर वहां से भाग जाते हैं. As the tree comes crashing down, monkeys wake from their sleep and run from branch to branch. You can see them in the moonlight. वो आप उसमें देख सकते हैं. And you can almost see the stacks running in all directions below. Stacks means जो एक प्रकार के जानवर होते हैं वो सभी भागने लगते हैं. You can hear the growl of the tiger in the distance. दूर से आपको जो टाइगर है उनकी ग्रॉल उनकी दहाड़ की आवाज है वो आप सुन सकते हैं. जब ऐसा आपका हाथी करता है सारे पेड़ पौधों को तोड़ता है तो आप इस तरह की घटनाएं वहां पर देख सकते हैं. इवन ही इज फ्राइटेंड क्योंकि वो डरा हुआ है. देन द एलिफेंट पुल्स डाउन द नेक्स्ट ट्री एंड द नेक्स्ट और वो ऐसा करते चला जाता है. द नेक्स्ट सून यू विल फाइंड दैट he has made a road right through the jungle straight to your house. और इस तरह से you can find your way to go your home. Okay, so this is the importance of master card. With that, the end of this lesson. The writer is Dhan Gopal Mukherjee. Okay. Thank you, students. Make a summary of this lesson, and if you have any question, please put your questions